Morning everyone. Just hopping on again because these thoughts keep coming, so I thought I'd keep sharing, and I've been speaking to a lady who I know will benefit from this. So again, that's my main reason for doing these. So I want to look at fear today, or maybe we don't want to look at this. So a big part of what I've realised literally 2 years ago was that fear was very predominant in my life, and it was kind of taking the edge off joy and being in the moment. And as a yoga teacher, and just as anyone who wants to live, we know this is something that we don't really want in our life. We need to feel free and full of joy. There's Soxy dog, so I might have to stop if she carries on. So basically, when you are going through a life-threatening illness or cancer diagnosis, or even a really stressful job, you're constantly in a state of stress. So when stress is the body's response to, fear and stress lead to problems in the mind and the body. So when you go to sit for a cancer diagnosis, you are literally facing your life sentence. So when you sat there, it's like literally, it's kind of like going up to the guillotine. You're working out what's going to happen and what's going to be happening over the next however long. And also I want to say that when you do get a diagnosis, don't look at the stats, because I can remember thinking, oh God, I think it's like 85% cancer comes back and probably die within the first 5 years. Never look at the stats. It's too much. So when you're in this overwhelming stress state, it actually takes away your joy. The threat of cancer and of dying really affects the limbic system, that reptilian part of the brain, and you're in fight or flight response. This makes a stress response, and you just basically you're not okay. So you're in that zone a lot when you're having cancer treatments in between diagnosis. And each time you go to hospital, it's that fight or flight, like you literally want to run away, or you need to be strong. And when you're being strong, you're not really living the moment. It's like you're putting a wall up or armour, and you're just marching on into war. So I'm not a fan of the word that I fought cancer. I don't see it as a fight. I think it objectifies it, and for me it gives it a bit more strength. For me, having cancer, it was an illness. Obviously a life-threatening illness, but it was an illness. So I don't feel like I fought it. I feel like I was ill. And this is something for everybody I hope to take away. When someone is going through a really bad time, and again, it doesn't need to be the C word, ask them what they need from you. So, for example, I was, don't like doing that, strong. That's the way I coped, but I didn't want to be strong. And when you're being told you're strong, you're doing so well, you've got this, you're going to be okay. Sometimes you just want someone to say to you, actually, this is a really shitty position. I bet you're well effed off. What a crap place to be in. You don't always want this positive stuff, because you don't know that, you're saying to them in your head going, shut up, you don't know I'm going to be okay. And it's like no one's doing it intentionally, but it's kind of belittling what you're in. Also, some days people might want to laugh. They might want humour. Some days they might want to cry. Some days they might want you to tell them that they're strong. So please ask that person what they need from you. Do you need to laugh, cry, be strong? What do you need from me? And that will empower you, and that will empower them. Because when I was strong, I didn't feel that I could be not strong. And not being strong is, vulnerability I'm learning now is strength. I didn't feel that I could be soft or cry, because when I lost it, everyone around me was scared then. So yeah, that was really, really tough actually. So ask people what they want. And vulnerability, remember, is real strength, because you're feeling. You're not just pushing it down or putting this wall on, you're really feeling. Because, just ask people what they need. And if they need space, give them space. If they don't need a hug, don't give them a hug. So ask them, what do you need today? And also, if it's a situation where people can be upset if they can, ask them how they're feeling and how they're really feeling. So I realised that I hadn't dealt with the vulnerability side of it until 2 years ago. I went on a yin retreat, and I'll be teaching you some yin, and I literally cried for a week. So yin went on a retreat, literally cried for a weekend of that, but then my life changed after that. And I really want to tackle fear this week, and I've got a beautiful book I'm going to read and some exercises. I really want to tackle fear because it takes away the joy. It takes away you a bit, and for a while I did lose myself. So why I realised I feel fear was on the yoga mat, was trying to do handstands and back bends and all these lovely things that we do. I realised that. So I'm going to read a little bit from this book, Fear. The fear of aging, the fear of illness, the fear of death, the fear of having to let go. The fear of the consequences of our karma. We don't want to face our fear, so we try to cover it up, my experience. We keep it down there in the cellar. We don't like it when somebody or something reminds us of it. We don't want it showing itself in our mind. So this book is all about mindfulness, and mindfulness in my experience is a little part of yoga, of just being in the present. So basically what they're saying is to label your fear, so I feel fear, and be mindful of it, sit with it, sit with a moment's breath, and the fear will go away, but it will come back up again, so you sit with it, and each time you label it, each time you either speak to somebody or write it down, you're taking its power away from you. You're taking its power away. So try that. If you feel fear or a self-limiting belief, like I can't do that, I can't believe I'm doing this, just think, notice it. Or one technique that's really good, there's a technique where you count from 5 to 1 and then do it. I don't wait that long, 3, 2, 1, I'm doing it. So I sit here, right, 3, 2, 1, press the button, I'm doing it. So it's really, really, I'd love you to start really living. And I've lost the other quote I have to look at. Yeah, I really want to start living. So for me, fear is a prison. It's a self-imposed prison, and it stops you living beautifully and presently. So everyone's hopping on now, and I'm going to go off because I'm going to keep them really, really short. So if you've got any comments, anything you want me to talk about, please let me know. But I will be giving you some exercises about fear because I think it's really, really important. You know, you don't have to have gone through something massive like that to have fear. We all have it. It's natural. Oh, one thing while it comes into my head, my last diagnosis kind of dropped fear a bit because I was tired. I just thought, right, this keeps coming back. It keeps showing its head. I'm tired. And I don't say this in yoga classes very often, but one of the goals of yoga is to accept that we will die. And Shavasana is a practice for death, which sounds morbid, but it is a fact. We will all die. And when I realised that, I kind of released and thought, well, I can't fight this. And that's when it sounds silly, but fear diminished a bit. And I was into, right, I need to get everything sorted, and started writing journals and things for my kids. But yes, it's unfortunate we will die. So let's live life really beautifully. So I will be looking at this week when I can. And I hope you get something out of it. Okay, bye everyone.